Senate will come to order. The senators will please take their seats. Those persons not entitled to the privilege of the floor will please retire to the gallery. The senators and all in attendance will stand and be led in prayer by John Garrett, former moderator, Presbytery of the James, Richmond, Virginia. Following the prayer, everyone will remain standing and be led in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America by Madam Clerk Susan Clark Sharp.
I ask you all to pray with me. Oh God, I come to you today with a petition. I ask for your presence in this chamber as these senators make their decisions which affect all people of this great commonwealth. It is in your name I make this prayer. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Karen.
Pardon?
The clerk will call the roll. All those present will please record their vote aye. The clerk will close the roll.
You have a quorum, Mr. President. Senate Journal for Friday, January 17th, 2020.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The junior senator from Chesterfield, Senator Hashmi, moves that the reading of the journal be waived. All in favor of waiving the reading of the journal will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk, close the roll.
Ayes 34, noes 6.
Ayes 34, noes 6. The reading of the journal is waived. The clerk will report any communication from the House of Delegates.
We do not have any, sir.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The clerk will report any communication from the governor.
We do not have any, sir.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Now comes a time in the morning hour where we have the privilege and pleasure of recognizing our distinguished guests with us here in the Senate gallery. I will give my daily reminder that the way this will proceed is that a senator will stand up, recognize an individual or group. I will then offer the warm welcome of the Senate, and at the end we will all clap together. I'd like to begin by calling on the senior senator from Virginia Beach, Senator DeSteph.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Senator.
Mr. President, I rise for the purpose of a couple of introductions.
Senator has the floor.
Today we're joined by Bill, Michael, and Catherine Bunn from my district, great friends of Virginia Beach. Bill is a former Naval Intelligence Officer, Commander, retired, teaches at Naval Marine Corps Intelligence Training Center in Virginia Beach today. And they're joined with Dennis Thomason, who is one of our gentlemen who works with the Control 4 systems, doing everything from home security to home automation. And they're up here joining us today to voice their opinions, voice their rights, and just kind of see how we operate. So with that, Mr. President, please offer him the warmest welcome of the Senate.
Thank the Senator. Would Bill, Michael, Catherine, and Dennis please rise to the gallery if you are able? Thank you all so much for joining us here today in the Capitol. We are grateful for your presence, and I know the senior senator from Virginia Beach in particular is always happy to see his constituents, so thank you all for making the trip, and we appreciate you being a part of the legislative process. What makes it work so well is committed citizens like you being involved, so we appreciate you. You're welcome back here anytime, and I would ask everyone please to join me in extending the warmest welcome of the Senate to our four distinguished guests. Senior senator from Virginia Beach, Senator DeSteph.
And Mr. President, I stand for an additional introduction. Today we're joined by Brian Luciano, President of the PBA, Mike Imperveno, Norfolk Sheriff's Department, attorney, and focused on police issues and motorcycles. John Taliski, retired Master Police Officer. Rich Cheatham, President of the Virginia Beach Supervisors Association. Mr. President, if we could, please offer him the warmest welcome of the Senate. I'd appreciate it.
Thank the Senator. Would Brian, Mike, John, and Rich please rise to the gallery if you are able? Thank you all so much for joining us here today in the Senate. We appreciate you, and also thank you for your service, both in law enforcement and other aspects of government. It's critically important that we have wonderful people like you involved in our law enforcement process. So on behalf of the Senior Senator from Virginia Beach, we greet you. You are welcome back here anytime, and I would ask everyone to please join me in extending the warmest welcome of the Senate to our 4 distinguished guests. Senator from Spotsylvania, Senator Reeves.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise for an introduction.
Thank the Senator. You have the floor.
Ladies and gentlemen of the body, today in the gallery is one of my other bosses now that I have, that I'm duly sworn in as a sheriff deputy from Culpeper County, Sheriff Scott Jenkins. He's stepped out as a constitutional officer with regard to a lot of the things that we're looking at today, and he's down here to lend his support with his command staff, and I'd like to give them the warm welcome of the Senate for serving and protecting us, Mr. President.
I thank the Senator. Would the Sheriff and your command staff please rise in the gallery if you are able? Sheriff, thank you so much for joining us here today, and thank you to you and to your command staff and everyone in the Sheriff's Department for your leadership and for all you do to keep our community safe. We appreciate you. We're grateful to you, and of course, you're welcome back here anytime. And I would ask everyone to please join me in extending the warmest welcome of the Senate to the Sheriff and the command staff from Culpeper County. Senator from Hanover, Senator McDougal.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I rise for the purposes of introduction.
Thank the Senator. You have the floor.
Mr. President, I was chastised by Madam Clerk about the length of our introductions, and that's only going to be to the benefit of my seatmate as I am introducing his special friend and wife, Laura, who's with us in the gallery today. She is joined by her lovely daughter, Aubrey. Aubrey, you might have remembered, spent last year with us as a page. And also with Aubrey is her brother, Chandler. And Chandler, we're so happy to have him here. He is coming to help his other brother, Colin, as they make sure that there is some adult supervision in Senator Stanley's office. Mr. President, if you could give Chandler, Aubrey, and Laura the warm welcome of the Senate and thank them for being him to watch over my seatmate.
I thank the Senator. Would Laura, Aubrey, and Chandler please rise in the gallery if you're able? Thank you all so much for joining us here today. It's always wonderful to see you, and I know that Senator Stanley in particular lights up every time he talks about you, and certainly when he gets to see you here as he's working in the Capitol. So thank you for supporting him and allowing him to do some great work. And on behalf of the Senator from Hanover and the eloquent words that he gave, I'd like to ask everyone to please join me in extending the warmest welcome of the Senate to the Stanley family. Senator from Bedford, Senator Newman.
Mr. President, I stand for the purposes of an introduction.
Senator has the floor.
Mr. President, I apologize to you that I don't know that I have actually located the green sheet. So the name that we'll be discussing is Melvin and Sandy Adams. Mr. President, we're delighted to have so many at the Capitol today who have come here because they wanted to see their government. And those of you that had the opportunity to spend time within the crowd found a courteous group that were here because of a freedom-loving desire to protect their Second Amendments. Mr. President, today we have in the gallery Melvin and Sandy Adams of Bedford. They are friends of ours. Also, Mr. President, they happen to be, Melvin happens to be the chairman of the 5th District Republican Committee and been a great friend. So, Mr. President, we're delighted to have them here, and I would hope that you would give them the warm welcome to the Senate.
I thank the Senator. Would Melvin and Sandy Adams please rise in the gallery if you are able? Melvin and Sandy, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here today in the Senate and your Capitol. We appreciate your advocacy and the fact that you're here to help our legislative process go even better with an informed citizenry. It's so important to our functioning. And I know the Senator from Bedford, Senator Newman, is particularly happy to see you all here today. So thank you for your friendship to him. He's a wonderful person. So I would ask everybody to please join me in extending the warmest welcome of the Senate to Melvin and Sandy Adams. Senator from Franklin County, Senator Stanley.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning to you, sir.
Thank you, Senator. Good morning.
Mr. President, I must say before I stand for an introduction that my youngest son, Chandler, loves it when you introduce him here. So thank you very much for that, sir.
Thank you, Chandler.
I rise for purposes of an introduction.
Senator has the floor.
Mr. President, here in the gallery today is two very special people in my family's life. We have Eric Moss, who's been my friend for goodness knows how long, but really appreciate his friendship and his good counsel he's given me over the years. And today he brought to the Capitol his son, Cameron Moss. Cameron is a sophomore at Radford University. He's studying computer science with a specialization in cyber security. They're here today to see their government in action and also to stand in strong support of their Second Amendment rights. So they were doing some freedoming right outside this window here. So, Mr. President, if you would extend to them the warm welcome of the Senate, I would most appreciate it.
I thank the Senator. Would Eric and Cameron Moss please rise in the gallery if you are able? Eric and Cameron, thank you all so much for being here today in the Senate. We are very appreciative that you would take time to come to the Capitol, particularly on today. And Cameron, it's a great name, first of all, and Radford is a great university, so we know you're going to do wonderful things. You have a wonderful president there, so please give everyone our best. And I would ask everybody to please join me in extending the warmest welcome of the Senate to Eric and Cameron Moss. Do any other senators wish to be recognized for purposes of an introduction? Is there any other business to come in the morning hour? Seeing none, resolutions, petitions, and bills are in order. And the clerk will call the calendar.
Senate calendar for Monday, January 20th, 2020. Uncontested calendar, Senate bills on third reading.
Senator, right before we get to it, Senator from Fauquier, Senator Vogel. Senator from Fauquier.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Good morning, Senator. How are you?
I apologize. I was distracted by my seatmates.
No worries.
They're so charming and interesting. I rise, Mr. President, for purposes of a request for unanimous consent. I apologize to my colleagues, to introduce a bill relating to surface mining, and it was brought to me at the request of my locality. And I apologize, it wasn't quite ready at the end of the week. And so with that, I ask for unanimous consent. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the Senate grant unanimous consent to introduce the bill mentioned by Senator from Fauquier, Senator Vogel? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The consent of the Senate is granted to introduce the bill. The clerk will call the calendar.
Uncontested calendar, Senate bills on third reading.
Senior Senator from Fairfax, Senator Saslaw.
Mr. President, I move that the Senate bills on third reading on the uncontested calendar, pages 1 through 6, and that's Senate bills 24 through 882, be placed on their final passage in a block, and any senator desiring to remove a bill from the block do so after the clerk has read the number of the bill.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the Senate bills on the uncontested calendar, third reading, pages 1 through 6, Senate Bill 24 through Senate Bill 882, be placed upon their final passage in the block, with the understanding that any senator desiring a bill be removed from the block will do so after the clerk has read the number of the bill. All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. The bills are before us in the block. Clerk will read the number of the bills.
Senate Bill 24, Senate Bill 60, Senate Bill 107.
Mr. President.
Senator from Roanoke County, Senator Suderline.
Can Senate Bill 107 on page 2 please come out of the block?
Without objection, Senate Bill 107 is removed from the block.
Senate Bill 163, Senate Bill 211, Senate Bill 255, Senate Bill...
Mr. President.
Senator from Roanoke County, Senator Suderline.
Can Senate Bill 255 on page 4 please come out of the block?
Without objection, Senate Bill 255 is removed from the block.
Senate Bill 258, Senate Bill 273.
Yes, Mr. President, can Senate Bill 273 also come out of the block?
Without objection, Senate Bill 273 is removed from the block.
Senate Bill 435, Senate Bill 455, Senate Bill 577, Senate Bill 617, Senate Bill 882.
Question is, shall the bills in the block pass? That is, all bills except for Senate Bills 107, 255, and 273. All in favor of passage of the bills will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, noes 0.
Ayes 40, noes 0. The bills in the block pass.
Returning to page 2, Senate Bill 107.
Senator from Northern Fairfax, Senator Howe.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill simply removes the sunset provision on the Arlington County being able to have a transient occupancy tax.
Thank the senator. Do any other senators wish to be heard regarding Senate Bill 107? Seeing none, the question is, shall Senate Bill 107 pass? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk, close the roll.
Ayes 31, noes 9.
Ayes 31, noes 9. Senate Bill 107 passes.
Returning to page 4, Senate Bill 255.
Senator from Mecklenburg, Senator Ruff.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senate Bill 255 is before you at the request of the Board of Supervisors of Prince George. It simply adds them to the list of counties that can have a transient occupancy tax. I move that the bill pass.
Thank the senator. Do any other senators wish to be heard regarding Senate Bill 255? Seeing none, the question is, shall Senate Bill 255 pass? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 30, noes 9, Rule 36-1.
Ayes 30, noes 9, Rule 36-1. Senate Bill 255 passes.
Senate Bill 273 on page 4.
Senator from Loudoun, Senator Bell.
Mr. President, this is a bill that simply extends the sunset clause on satellite productions in Loudoun County, providing for 1,700 high-paying jobs.
Thank the senator. Do any other senators wish to be heard regarding Senate Bill 273? Senator from Fairfax City, Senator Peterson.
Gentleman, yield for a question.
Well, Senator, yield.
Mr. President, I yield.
Senator, yield. You have the floor.
I asked the gentleman, he says that this extends the sunset. Would he agree with me that the sun sets in the west?
Senator has the floor.
Mr. President, I quote a very astute source, Dr. Seuss. Think left and think right, think low and think high. Oh, the things you can think of if only you try.
Further question? No? For what purpose, Senator from Alexandria, Senator Ebenrise?
To ask if the senator would yield for a question.
Will Senator yield?
Mr. President, I gladly yield.
Senator yield. You have the floor.
These satellites that are not going to be taxed, how are we going to ascertain when satellites are flying over Loudoun County and when they're not?
Senator has the floor.
Mr. President, Dr. Seuss, many books. I go again. To the senator, I say, the more that you read, the more things you will know, the more that you learn, the more places you'll go, and that's how you'll know.
That's something. Thank you, Senator. Do any other senators wish to be heard on Senate Bill 273? Seeing none, the question is, shall Senate Bill 273 pass? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 31, noes 9.
Ayes 31, noes 9. Senate Bill 273 passes.
Mr. President. Mr. President.
Yes.
Having voted on the prevailing side in which we passed Senate Bill 273, can we please reconsider that vote?
The question is, shall the vote by which Senate Bill 273 passed be reconsidered. All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, noes 0.
Ayes 40, noes 0. The motion is agreed to. Senator from Loudoun, Senator Bell.
Mr. President, the bill passed.
Thank the senator. For what purposes the senior senator from Chesapeake, Senator Cosgrove, rise?
Will the gentleman yield for a question?
Will the senator yield?
Mr. President, I yield.
Senator yields. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Hopefully Dr. Seuss has left the building. Would the gentleman agree that now these satellite taxes, would they be astronomically high?
Senator has the floor.
Mr. President, I know Dr. Seuss has a place for this one, but I would simply say this is a sunset clause, not a tax. And even though the satellites are high, the taxes are not.
Mr. President, I thank the gentleman for this out-of-this-world bill.
Thank the Lord we're voting right now. The question is, shall Senate Bill 273 pass? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
38, noes 2.
Ayes 38, noes 2. Senate Bill 273 passes.
Regular calendar.
Just very quickly, we're just explaining for those in the gallery and for those who may be watching, the reason that there was applause for Senator Bell in that particular moment was this was the first bill that he's passed as a senator. So that's a tradition here in the Senate, and we want to explain why that was. So thank you all. Madam Clerk.
Regular calendar, Senate bills on third reading. Senate Bill 46, a bill relating to absentee voting, application form contents.
Senator from Northern Chesapeake, Senator Spruill.
Mr. President, move the bill passed and explain.
Senator has the floor.
Thank you. Mr. President, when applying for absentee ballot and you pick a region like out of town, unable to because of health, there's a second prompt that comes up to ask for more details like what are your health problems. You're still doing as it is now. The part that we are trying to get rid of, that once you check, you got 20 reasons on the back. Once you check with your reason, we're trying to get rid of that. If you check, for an example, if I said, for an example, I don't like my friend John Cosgrove, that's not true. Then I have to explain why. So we're trying to get rid of that part of it. So everything has remained the same, except explain the reason why that you picked one of those choices on the back. Move the bill pass.
Thank the senator. Do any other senators wish to be heard regarding Senate Bill 46? Seeing none, the question is, shall Senate Bill 46 pass? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 33, noes 7.
Ayes 33, noes 7. Senate Bill 46 passes.
Senate Bill 57, a bill related to campaign finance reports, electronic filing requirements, local and constitutional offices.
Senator from Roanoke County, Senator Suderline.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Senate pass Senate Bill 57. Speaking to that motion.
Senator has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senate Bill 57 will require all candidates to have to file campaign finance reports to do so electronically. This is the same a few years ago. We made it so the General Assembly and candidates for local office in larger jurisdictions, over 70,000 people, and also statewide candidates would file electronically. By doing that, it ensures that the reports are actually publicly available. In several places where they were being filed by paper and continue to be filed by paper, what happens is they are filed by paper at the registrar's office and then never reported on in the newspaper, and there's really not much transparency with it. So this bill seeks to provide that transparency across the Commonwealth.
Thank the senator. For what purpose is the senior senator from Chesapeake, Senator Cosgrove, rise?
Would the gentleman yield for a question?
Will the senator yield?
Yes, sir.
Senator Yields, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd ask the gentleman, I think it's a good bill, but there are areas of the Commonwealth, as we all know, that have a true lack of broadband and internet capability. How is this going to impact those particular localities?
Senator has the floor.
So a few comments to that, Mr. President. Firstly, these files are very small. They're all numbers, basically. They're not graphics or video, so these are things that you can file pretty easily. Many of you will recall back before broadband was a thing across the state, VPAP used to have the e-filer certificate that people would put on their websites, and those went all over the state because those reports aren't very big.
I thank the gentleman.
Thank the Senator. Do any other senators wish to be heard regarding Senate Bill 57? Seeing none, the question is, shall Senate Bill 57 pass? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 35, noes 5.
Ayes 35, noes 5. Senate Bill 57 passes.
Senate Bill 111, a bill relating to absentee voting, no excuse required.
Senator from Northern Fairfax, Senator Howe.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the bill pass, and speaking to it.
Thank the Senator. You have the floor.
Several years ago, I got a robodial on my home phone, and it was from an elected official in my county saying, you can just go down and vote absentee. You don't have to give a reason, just go down and vote. Well, of course, that was wrong. He was, in effect, asking various voters to go down and lie on their absentee voting form. That struck me as ridiculous, that anybody would need to lie on to be able to vote absentee. So I put in a bill. This was several years ago. I think it was under the Kane administration. And over the years, I put it in again and again. It always passes the Senate with bipartisan support. In the past, it's died in this dreadful P&E subcommittee over in the House. I'm hopeful that maybe this year we'll be able to get it passed. I don't know, but I would appreciate continuing support from the Senate. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank the Senator. Do any other senators wish to be heard regarding Senate Bill 111? Seeing none, the question is, shall Senate Bill 111 pass? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 31, noes 9.
Ayes 31, noes 9. Senate Bill 111 passes.
Senate Bill 217, a bill relating to campaign finance, reporting of certain contributions received immediately prior to a legislative session.
Senator from Roanoke County, Senator Suderline.
Mr. President, can that bill go by temporarily?
Without objection, Senate Bill 217 will go by temporarily.
Senate Bill 224, a bill relating to additional local sales and use tax in Gloucester County, appropriations of Gloucester County to incorporated towns for educational purposes.
Senator from James City County, Senator Norman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I respectfully ask that the bill pass, and speaking to that.
Senator has the floor.
Mr. President, what this allows Gloucester County to do is similar to what we did with Halifax last year. They have a system of physical deterioration of their high school, which is 50 years old and is suffering from the infection of black mold. This will allow them to increase the tax and dedicate it and assign it for school construction. It is supported unanimously by the Board of Supervisors, which are a very fiscally conservative group. It's also supported by the chamber and the schools, and I'd ask that the bill pass.
Thank the Senator. Do any other senators wish to be heard with regard to Senate Bill 224? Seeing none, the question is, shall Senate Bill 224 pass? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 27, noes 12.
Ayes 27, noes 12. Senate Bill 224 passes.
Senate Bill 318, a bill relating to release of balloons prohibition.
Mr. President.
Senior Senator from Virginia Beach.
Can that bill go by for the day, please?
Without objection, Senate Bill 318 will go by for the day.
The Senate Bill 859, a bill relating to absentee voting, emergency absentee voting by and late applications for persons hospitalized, definition of hospital.
Senator from Alexandria, Senator Eben.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill pass, and speaking to the bill.
Senator, has the floor.
Right now in Virginia, if you're in a hospital surrounding the Commonwealth, you have the right to emergency absentee voting. However, if you're not in a state immediately surrounding the Commonwealth or within Virginia, you do not have the right to vote emergency absentee. This just merely adds the states, all other states. So if you're in Delaware or Pennsylvania that may be closer than some places in other states, you can also take advantage of that procedure if you're unable to vote. With that, I move that the bill pass.
Thank the Senator. For what purpose, Senator from Roanoke County, Senator Suderline rise? Do any other senators wish to be heard on Senate Bill 859? Seeing none, the question is, shall Senate Bill 859 pass? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 38, noes 2.
Ayes 38, noes 2. Senate Bill 859 passes.
Uncontested calendar, Senate bills on second reading.
Senior Senator from Fairfax, Senator Saslaw.
Mr. President, I move that all Senate bills on second reading on the uncontested calendar, pages 9 through 15, that's Senate bills 262 through 600, be advanced to their engrossment and third reading in a block after the adoption of any amendments thereto, and any senator desiring to remove a bill from the block, please do so after the clerk has read the number of the bill.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall all Senate bills on second reading on the uncontested calendar on pages 9 through 15, Senate Bill 262 through Senate Bill 600, be engrossed and advanced to the third reading in the block after the adoption of the amendments thereto, and that any senator desiring a bill be removed from the block will do so after the clerk has read the number of the bill. All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. The clerk will read the number of the bills.
Senate Bill 262, reported from the Committee on Agriculture, Conservation, and Natural Resources. Senate Bill 774, reported from the Committee on Agriculture, Conservation, and Natural Resources with amendment.
Senator from Russell, Senator Chafin.
May Senate Bill 774 come out of the block and go by for the day.
Without objection, Senate Bill 774 will come out of the block and go by for the day.
Senate Bill 62, reported from the Committee on the Judiciary with a substitute.
Senator from Roanoke County, Senator Suderline.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate adopt the committee substitute to Senate Bill 62.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the Senate adopt the committee substitute? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The Senate adopts the committee substitute.
Senate Bill 115, reported from the Committee on General Laws and Technology with amendments.
Senator from Arlington, Senator Favola.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the amendments be agreed to.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the committee amendments be agreed to? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The committee amendments are agreed to.
Senate Bill 127, reported from the Committee on General Laws and Technology. Senate Bill 232, reported from the Committee on Education and Health with amendments.
Senator from Northwestern Fairfax, Senator Boysko.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the amendments be agreed to.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the committee amendments be agreed to? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The committee amendments are agreed to.
Senate Bill 247, reported from the Committee on the Judiciary. Senate Bill 259, reported from the Committee on General Laws and Technology. Senate Bill 269, reported from the Committee on General Laws and Technology. Senate Bill 283, reported from the Committee on General Laws and Technology. Senate Bill 343, reported from the Committee on General Laws and Technology. Senate Bill 388, reported from the Committee on General Laws and Technology. Senate Bill 487, reported from the Committee on General Laws and Technology with a substitute.
Senator from Loudoun, Senator Bell.
Mr. President, would the substitute be agreed to? Move that.
Thank the Senator. Question is, shall the committee substitute be agreed to? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The committee substitute is agreed to.
Senate Bill 563, reported from the Committee on General Laws and Technology. Senate Bill 584, reported from the Committee on General Laws and Technology with amendment.
Senator from Williamsburg, Senator Mason.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move the amendments be agreed to.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the committee amendment be agreed to? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The committee amendment is agreed to.
Senate Bill 600, reported from the Committee on Education and Health.
The question is, shall the Senate bills be engrossed in advance to their third reading? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bills are engrossed in advance to their third reading.
Regular calendar, Senate bills on second reading. Senate Bill 240, a bill relating to firearms removal from persons posing substantial risk penalties, reported from the Committee on the Judiciary with a substitute.
Senator from Southern Fairfax, Senator Barker.
Mr. President, I move that that bill be passed by for the day.
Without objection, Senate Bill 240 will go by for the day.
Senate Bill 17, a bill relating to same-sex marriages, civil unions, reported from the Committee on the Judiciary with substitute.
Senator from Alexandria, Senator Eben.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the committee substitute.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the committee substitute be adopted? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The committee substitute is adopted. Senator from Alexandria, Senator Eben.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill be engrossed and advanced to its constitutional third reading.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
Senate Bill 103, a bill relating to juvenile parole, reported from the Committee on the Judiciary.
Senator from Western Fairfax, Senator Marsden.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. Ayes have it. The bill is engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
Senate Bill 161, a bill relating to public elementary and secondary schools' treatment of transgender students' policies, reported for the Committee on Education and Health with amendments.
Senator from Northwestern Fairfax, Senator Boysko.
Sorry about that. Technical difficulty.
No problem.
Mr. President, I move that the substitute be agreed to.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the committee amendments be adopted? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The committee amendments are adopted. Senator from Northwestern Fairfax, Senator Boysko.
Mr. President, I move the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
Senate Bill 245, a bill relating to Department of Health Professions conversion therapy prohibited, reported from the Committee on Education and Health with amendments.
Senator from Eastern Fairfax, Senator Surville.
Move the committee amendments.
Senator, the question is, shall the committee amendments be adopted? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The committee amendments are adopted. Senator from Eastern Fairfax, Senator Surville.
Sorry, Mr. President. I move the bill be engrossed and passed to its third reading.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
Senate Bill 368, a bill relating to the Virginia Public Procurement Act, architectural and professional engineering term contracts, limitations on project fees, localities, reported from the Committee on General Laws and Technology.
Senator from Loudoun, Senator Bell.
Mr. President, I move the bill be engrossed and passed on to its third reading.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
Senate Bill 403, a bill relating to Department of General Services, Division of Engineering and Buildings, custody, control, and supervision of the Virginia War Memorial Carillon. Reported from the Committee on General Laws and Technology.
The junior senator from Chesterfield, Senator Hashmi.
I apologize.
No, you're fine.
I move that the bill be engrossed and advanced to the next reading. Thank you.
Thank the senator. The question is, shall the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
Senate Bill 508, a bill relating to Department of Human Resource Management, forced option health insurance plan, brand name medications. Reported from the Committee on General Laws and Technology with amendments.
Senator from Bath, Senator Deeds.
Mr. President, I move that the committee amendment be agreed to.
Thank the senator. The question is, shall the committee amendments be agreed to? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The committee amendments are agreed to. Senator from Bath, Senator Deeds.
Mr. President, I move that the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
Thank the senator. The question is, shall the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
Senate Bill 601, a bill relating to legal holidays, Lee Jackson Day, Election Day. Reported from the Committee on General Laws and Technology.
Senator from Portsmouth, Senator Lucas.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the bill be engrossed and advanced to its constitutionally required third reading.
I thank the senator. The question is, shall the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
Senate Bill 628, a bill relating to the Virginia Residential Property Disclosure Act, residential building energy analysis. Reported from the Committee on General Laws and Technology.
Senator from Eastern Fairfax, Senator Serville.
Mr. President, I move the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
Thank the senator. The question is, shall the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
Senate Bill 630, a bill relating to common interest communities, electric vehicle charging stations permitted. Reported from the Committee on General Laws and Technology with a substitute.
Senator from Eastern Fairfax, Senator Serville.
Mr. President, I move the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
Does the senator want to move the substitute?
Oh, yeah, I'll move that first. I move the substitute.
Thank the senator. The question is, shall the committee substitute be adopted? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Committee substitute is adopted. Senator from Eastern Fairfax, Senator Serville.
Thank you, Mr. President. I renew my motion that the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
Thank the senator. The question is, shall the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
Senate Bill 657, a bill relating to Board of Health certificate of birth change of sex. Reported from the Committee on Education and Health with a substitute.
Senator from Northwestern Fairfax, Senator Boysko.
Mr. President, I move the committee amendments.
Thank the senator. The question is, shall the committee substitute be adopted? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The committee substitute is adopted. Senator from Northwestern Fairfax, Senator Boysko.
Mr. President, I move the bill move to its third constitutional reading.
Thank the senator. The question is, shall the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
Uncontested calendar Senate bills on first reading.
Senior Senator from Fairfax, Senator Saslaw.
Mr. President, I move that all Senate bills on first reading on the uncontested and regular calendar, pages 20 through 22, Senate Bill 156 through 437, that the rules be suspended and the first constitutional reading be dispensed with.
Thank the senator. The question is, shall the rules be suspended and the first reading of the titles of Senate bills on the uncontested and regular calendars, pages 20 through 22, Senate Bill 156 through Senate Bill 437, be dispensed with? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, no 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The reading of the titles is dispensed with. Senior Senator from Fairfax, Senator Saslaw.
Mr. President, I now move that those said bills go by for the day.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the Senate bills on the uncontested and regular calendars now on second reading be passed by for the day? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bills will go by for the day.
Returning to page 8, Senate Bill 217, there is a floor substitute.
Senator from Roanoke County, Senator Suderline.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we reconsider the vote by which Senate Bill 217 was ordered to be engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
Question is, shall the Senate reconsider the vote by which Senate Bill 217 was engrossed and advanced to its third reading? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, no 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The motion is agreed to. Senator from Roanoke County, Senator Suderline.
Mr. President, I move that the Senate waive the reading of the floor substitute.
Thank you, Senator. The question is, shall the reading of the floor substitute be waived? All in favor of the motion will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The reading of the floor substitute is waived. Senator from Roanoke County, Senator Suderline.
I move that we agree to the floor substitute. And speaking of that motion,
Senator has the floor.
Thank you. The floor substitute, which should have been distributed, is still the exact same intent of the original bill, which would require contributions of $1,000 or more in the days preceding the General Assembly to be reported, except instead of them being reported within 24 hours, which was drawn from the language in the code for the contributions of a similar nature in the days preceding the election. It was suggested by some other members that I could still get the transparency I was hoping for, but save a little less paperwork by having the report simply be on January 15th. So I hope it will be the pleasure of the Senate to adopt the substitute.
Thank the Senator. Do any other senators wish to be heard on the floor substitute? Seeing none, the question is, shall the Senate adopt the floor substitute? All in favor of the motion will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The floor substitute is adopted. Senator from Roanoke County, Senator Suderline.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate engross and advance Senate Bill 217 to its third constitutional reading.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading? All in favor of the motion will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is engrossed and advanced to its third reading. Senator from Roanoke County, Senator Suderline.
Mr. President, I move that the Senate suspend the rules and dispense with the third constitutional reading of Senate Bill 217.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the Senate suspend the rules and dispense with the third constitutional reading? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, no 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The rules are suspended and the third constitutional reading is dispensed with. Senator from Roanoke County, Senator Suderline.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate pass Senate Bill 217. Speaking of that motion.
Senator has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senate Bill 217 will require that large campaign contributions defined as $1,000 or more be reported by January 15th if they're received in the days preceding the General Assembly session. Under current law, we have to report large campaign contributions in the days preceding the election, but campaign contributions that are received between January 1st and the start of the General Assembly, when we are very far from any of us appearing on a ballot, but we're very close to voting on issues that will affect 8 million Virginians, those contributions are not reported until July 15th in years that we're not on the ballot, which means that we've actually received a contribution that's substantial, taken several votes on these issues. If those pieces of legislation were successful, they've been enacted into law, signed by the governor, and the public does not get to find out that we received those contributions until 15 days after they're already affected by those laws. And with the substitute that we agreed to, instead of having to do several of those reports, you simply do one, and you can do it at the same time as you're doing your report for your contributions from November and December. So I hope it will be the pleasure of the body to pass this legislation and add some transparency for the General Assembly.
Thank the Senator. Do any other senators wish to be heard regarding Senate Bill 217? Seeing none, the question is, shall Senate Bill 217 pass? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, no 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. Senate Bill 217 passes. Senior Senator from Fairfax, Senator Saslaw.
Mr. President, I inquire of the clerk, does that complete the calendar?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. For what purpose does the Senior Senator from Chesterfield, Senator Chase, rise?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to, if I could, return to the morning hour.
Without objection.
Thank you, Mr. President. In the gallery today, we have a very special guest with us. Joshua, and if I can see if I can get this last name right here, Macias. He is the National Director of Vet for Trump. He is a United States Navy combat veteran, and he represents 600,000 vets seeking change in their community. So I'd like for the Senate to give him a warm welcome today. Thank you.
I thank the Senator. Joshua, you're already standing. Thank you for being here today in the Senate. We appreciate your advocacy and your engagement. Also appreciate your military service. Thank you for what you've done for the country. So I would ask everyone to please join me in extending the warmest welcome of the Senate to Joshua Macias. What purpose does the Senior Senator from Chesapeake, Senator Cosgrove, rise?
Thank you, Mr. President. A point of personal privilege.
Senator has the floor.
Thank you. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, as everyone could not help but notice today, we were visited by thousands upon thousands upon thousands of Virginians and Americans who came to Richmond to make their views heard. And it's their right to do that, and I'm glad they felt they'd come to our Capitol to do that. The reason I'm rising today is I want to call out our special attention to our Capitol Police and our state police, all of whom were on duty today, all of whom were out there in the cold, all of them were taking care of us and everybody out there. So I just want to express my personal gratitude, and I hope the gratitude of the entire Senate, to our Capitol Police and our state police. There's none better in the world. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank the Senator. For what purpose does the Senior Senator from Fairfax, Senator Saslaw, rise?
I also want to echo the remarks of the Senator from Chesapeake. They could not have performed better. It was just outstanding with both the state police and the Capitol Police, and the people and the policemen in Richmond just did an excellent job. And as far as I know, there were absolutely no incidents. So again, I think I and he speak for everyone in this chamber, members and non-members, on the great job that was done by both all the police forces.
Thank the Senator. Please, sure. Do any other senators wish to be recognized? Is there any other business to come before the Senate? Seeing none, the clerk will report any announcements on the desk.
Today, Monday, January 20th, the Committee on Commerce and Labor will meet 15 minutes after adjournment, Senate Room A, Pocahontas. The Commerce and Labor Subcommittee on Energy will meet immediately upon adjournment of the Commerce and Labor Committee, Senate Room A, Pocahontas. Senators Spruill, Norman, Newman, Lucas, and Marsden. The Education and Health Subcommittee on Higher Education will not meet today. The Finance and Appropriations Subcommittee on Health and Human Resources will meet at 4 p.m., Subcommittee Room 1, 5th floor, Pocahontas. Senators Howe, Hanger, Vogel, Barker, Deeds, Eben, and McClellan. The Northern Virginia delegation will not meet this evening. This is a change. The Northern Virginia delegation will not meet. Tomorrow, Tuesday, January 21st. The Finance and Appropriations Subcommittee on Economic Development and Natural Resources will meet at 7:30 a.m., Subcommittee Room 1, 5th floor, Pocahontas. Senators Marsden, Ruff, Howell, Saslaw, Hanger, and Barker. The Finance and Appropriations Subcommittee on General Government will meet at 7:30 a.m. Senate Leadership Conference Room, 6th floor, Pocahontas. Senators Peterson, Newman, Lucas, Vogel, Locke, and Eben. The Committee on Finance and Appropriations will meet at 9 o'clock a.m. Committee Room B, Pocahontas. The Rehabilitation and Social Services Subcommittee on ABC will meet at 9 a.m. Subcommittee 3, 5th floor, Pocahontas. Senators Mason, McPike, Sproul, Reeves, and Cosgrove. The Democratic Caucus will meet at 11:30 a.m. Senate Room 1 in the Capitol. The Republican Caucus will meet at 11:30 a.m. Senate Room 2 in the Capitol.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Is there any other business to come before the Senate? Seeing none, call on the Senator from Portsmouth, Senator Lucas.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate do now adjourn until 12 noon tomorrow.
Thank the Senator. The question is, shall the Senate stand adjourned until 12 noon tomorrow? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The Senate stands adjourned until 12 noon tomorrow.